This time I call the January 11th, 2024 meeting of the County Commission to order. This time we have my pastor, the pastor of the Martin's Crossroads Church, Double Branches Community, to give us our invocation. Brother James, if you'll come, and then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag led by Commissioner Clyde.
If we would, let's all bow our heads in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, as we gather here together this evening to conduct the business of this county, I thank you, Lord, first for the opportunity to stand before our leaders and this people and to call upon your name for wisdom and for guidance. It's a privilege and it's an honor, and it's not one, Lord, that I take lightly. Now, Lord, I ask that you would visit us tonight, and as we move forward in the year 20 and 24, that you would reveal your will as to the progress and the peace and the prosperity, Lord, of the great people of this county. And I pray, Lord, that you'll show our leaders your purpose, enlighten them to know how to accomplish their goals and the tasks and the things that they may be facing in the future. I pray, God, you'll direct their thoughts and direct their words and their decisions in such a way, Lord, that not only would it be beneficial to the people, but that their actions that they might take, Lord, be according to your divine will. Give them knowledge, Lord, to the situations that they may face, and then give them supernatural wisdom that they know how to handle the knowledge that you showed to them. May they be unified, Lord, and they're making the decisions, and may they make the best possible decisions for your people. And then I pray, God, that you would help them to carry them out and carry them out effectively. May they discover your wisdom. May they be diligent to seek after you, Lord. May they be sensitive to your voice, and may they have the patience. If they don't know the answer, if they don't know the solution, to wait upon you. You're still God. You sit upon the circle of the earth, and all power in heaven and earth has been given to you, and there's none like you, never has been, isn't today, and there never will be. May they be sensitive, Lord, to your voice. May they discover your wisdom. I pray now, Lord, for the blessings, Lord, upon Mr. Larry Collins and Mr. Stan Takersley and Mr. Cooper Clyott, Mr. Brian Henderson, Lord, and the chairman of the board, Mr. Walker Norman. Lord, we desire your glory and your blessing in everything that is said and everything that is done tonight. And we ask, Lord, that your favor would be upon us all. And we ask these and all things in the precious name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And everybody said, Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y'all have the state of the county somewhere. I'm assuming they're right here. You do, it's in your book. They have the state of the county in the books?
No, sir.
Would present them to them. Item 5 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there a motion that we approve the minutes?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And I've jumped already ahead of things. Let's back up.
Okay.
I skipped over the annual state of the county. Tonight is the night that I give the state of the county every year in January on what happened in 2023. So bear with us a few minutes and then we'll try to move it on. Commissioner Clyde, Commissioner Collins, Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Tankersley, Clerk McKellar, Attorney Jackson, County Constitutional Officers, Department Heads, and my fellow Lincoln Countyans. Tonight, as I give my 32nd annual State of the County, I want you all to know how honored I am that I've been given the opportunity to serve the people of this great community that we call Lincoln County. Tonight, I will highlight some things that will happen in 2023 and some things that we hope to do in 2024. As always, I want to thank our department heads and Lincoln County employees for what you do in providing services to our citizens. I'm proud to announce that in August, Our new emergency services substation on Highway 220 West was opened and staffed with a full-time ambulance to serve the south and southeast parts of the county, and it has reduced by several minutes the response time. Last year, I told you that the cost would be approximately $600,000. Tonight, I am proud to announce the cost was just over $400,000, and it was paid in its entirety with American Rescue Plan monies. Last year, I announced the second phase of our agricultural arena, located on the grounds of the Curry Carvin Recreation Complex, that it would begin in 2023. We have completed part of this project with plans to complete the project in 2024. The Department of Public Works, under the direction of Director Randy Fisher and Planner Stephanie Eicher, performed 1,861 building inspections, issued 796 building permits. 60 new residential permits were issued, representing $19,708,991. Although this number is down from the 85 issued in 22 and the 81 issued in 21, it surpasses the 43 that were issued in 2020 and the 38 that was issued in 2019. The average home built in Lincoln County in 2023 was $328,483. In comparison to new single-family building permits, in 2023, for the first time in 3 years, McDuffie County issued 80, which was 20 more than we did. Wilkes County issued 3. Warren County issued 17. The Roads and Bridges Division resurfaced Hepzibah Church Road, Greenwood Church Road, Bass Road, Price Reach Road, Maxim Road, and Ivytown Road. These projects were paid for with Local Maintenance Improvement Grant, which the acronym is LMIG, and Transportation Special Local Option Sales Tax, which we call and refer as T-Splosh funds. Lincoln County received approximately $400,000 in LMIG and $600,000 in T-Splosh funding. The Office of Emergency Services, under Director Casey Brunner, responded to 1,455 ambulance calls, averaging approximately 4 calls per day, with an average dispatch to the scene of 7.9 minutes. Total fire calls for 2023 were 166. The county purchased CPR machines at a cost of $67,000. The office taught EMT classes with 5 students completing the classes. County provided 20 turnout gears for our volunteer fire departments at a cost of $94,000. Air packs at a cost of $21,878 for a total of $115,878. The county also pays vehicle insurance, workman's compensation, insurance, cancer insurance, and reimbursement to the Volunteer Fire Department Retirement Plan at a cost of $51,571 for a total of $167,440 to our volunteer fire department. Lincoln County is very fortunate to have such dedicated men and women willing to volunteer their time, services, and talent to protect the properties of our citizens. E911 Communications Department, under Director Dawn Aycock, is staffed with 8 communication officers. Director Aycock oversees the day-to-day operations and is also available to assist her employees as needed. 911 Communications added Rapid SOS to their operations in 2023. Rapid SOS is a web-based platform that allows mobile phone users locations to be available immediately before the 911 call rings. Also during 2023, the county purchased for Dispatch 911 a Data Master Alley System automatic location service at a cost of $59,850. For the year of 2023, 911 Communications received 3,436 calls. And that's 911 calls. 14,634 administrative calls were received for a total of 18,070 calls, averaging 50 calls per day to our 911 center. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I would like to thank all of our public safety employees, including the Sheriff's Office, deputies, and Detention Center, Office of Emergency Services, 911 Communications, and Volunteer Fire Department, who protect the life and property of our citizens. The Recreation Department, under Director Latrellis Glaze, in conjunction with Lincoln County Family Connection, sponsored a summer camp held at the gym 4 days a week during the months of June and July, serving over 40 children aged 5 to 12. Along with the Road Legend Truck Club, they held their 4th annual Christmas toy drive. The Recreation Department also participates with Lincoln County High School and Ms. Ball on teaching our special needs students different cleaning techniques. Director Glaze will be taking over Little League baseball and softball this season, where we will now be a part of the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association. Lincoln County, under Director Kerry Pardon, served over 9,000 patrons in 2023. The Dover Park Ridge Annex was used approximately 200 times during the year, serving 1,489 citizens for events, classes, and meetings. The successful summer reading program reached over 400 patrons, and the biggest single event held last year had 112 patrons in attendance. Extension Director Robin Stewart. The University of Georgia Lincoln County Extension Service Office served 4,134 people who sought assistance from Lincoln County Extension Office. Of those, 918 individuals were face-to-face or phone calls, and 3,216 citizens corresponded by email. 44 site visits were made upon the request of clients, and over 55 issues or concerns diagnosed. A total of 170 samples were submitted to the University of Georgia's Agricultural Laboratories through the Lincoln County Extension Office. 45 educational sessions were taught in the area of agricultural and natural resources. 32 additional events were coordinated with assistance from the Agricultural and Natural Resources Agency. Our Extension Office was the winner of 9 district and state awards in 2023, the Georgia Association of County Agricultural Agents annual meeting. They also won 4 national awards through the National Association of County Agents. The Lincoln County 4-H program has 236 4-Hers, an increase from 157 in 2022. There were 31 core club meetings held in school and 33 additional opportunities for 4-Hers provided services to learn about agriculture, including container gardening, farm safety camp, 4-H cooking club, farm day for pre-K, summer camps, conservation day for youth, and other events during the year. The 2 additional clubs were organized, Cooking Club and Homeschool Club. 2 of our 4-H's participated in the district project achievement at Rock Eagle and won first and second place in their categories. The Lincoln County Agricultural Center facilities were used for events and meetings over 25 times in 2023. County Extension Coordinator Robin Stewart. Robin, are you here? There she is. Was promoted to Public Service Associate by committees of the district, state, and university level. Ms. Stewart made a presentation at the 2023 Equine Society. She is the chair of the Early Career Development Center. She is the National District Senior Director of the Georgia Association of County Agricultural Agents and serves as the editor of the Southeast Georgia Pekin newsletter and the Elevated Equine website. Robin and her staff, Colby Turner and Rebecca Goebel, have brought Lincoln County Extension into the elite programs of the University of Georgia's Extension. Robin, with all your accomplishments, we look forward to working with you on the addition of the new arena and that we will use and host many events such as horse shows, cattle shows, rodeos, entertainment, and other events in the months ahead. The Technology and Media Service Department of Director Johnny Walter has improved the security or reliability of the county's computer networks by replacing old and unmanaged switches with current technology. Most workstations have been upgraded to the latest Windows operating system version. The Lincoln Center network was rewired to modern standards as part of its renovation. The new OES South substation was added to the county's network. Security camera projects were completed for the detention center, the courthouse campus, the gym, and the Lincoln Center, and other security improvements are being rolled out for the county's Office 365 email and other applications. An additional data backup location was added to the county's server. Progress was made in the county's records and detention program, and the county will install cameras at the transfer station, headquarters of the Office of Emergency Management Services, and the county shop, road department, and gas facilities in 2024. The Finance Department under Director Ernie Doss has assisted in submission of 2 United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, Rural Development grants for equipment for the Recreation Department and the Office of Emergency Service. Lincoln County was awarded $98,000 USDA grant for equipment at the new agricultural arena being built at the Kerry Carving Complex. The Finance Department assisted several departments in updating their business process, grant reporting, and day-to-day operations, and they have completed mandatory reporting for USDA grants, American Rescue Program grants, One Georgia grants, Department of Community Affairs grants, the Hotel Motel reports, and Georgia Department of Audits and Accounts for budget and reporting, as well as the Georgia Department of Accounts, Audits and Accounts for immigration reporting. The Finance Department during calendar year 23 has provided grant management services to the Workforce Development Grant and the Family Connections Grant. They updated vendor files for the county's 800-plus vendors, and Director Doss has provided me with the year-end balances for 2023. All funds in the general fund is $3,406,054. Splash fund, $1,602,974. American Rescue Plan Fund, $1,101,000. Solid Waste, $482,735. T-Splosh, $378,721. Water Fund Reserve, $361,360. Emergency Fund, $300,325. Water Fund, $245,947. Splosh 6 Fund, $152,312. E911 Fund, $102,215. Hotel Motel Tax, $75,602. Family Connection Fund, $58,475. Workforce Development, $56,200. Drug Education Fund, $42,252. General Fund Reserve, $22,681. Jail Fee Fund, $13,496. Law Library, $11,622. Water Sinking Fund 2, $10,485. Water Short-Lived Asset Fund, $4,600. Payroll Fund, $1,915. Total cash in all bank accounts is $8,430,570. Our investment accounts, Raymond James 12-month CDs, $1,625,000. Raymond James Enhanced Savings, $509,752. Raymond James Holding for Transfer, $15. Total in all investment accounts, $2,134,767. Total cash and investments of all accounts as of December the 30th, $10,565,337. The FY '23 general fund budget was $8,311,056, which included $821,000 in one-time federal funding for capital projects. The FY '24 general fund budget is $7,515,968. When allowing for the $821,000 in one-time federal funding, the FY 2024 general fund budget was less than 1%, or just $25,900 more than it was in the FY 2023. The FY '24 budget for all funds, $13,263,059. As we begin the new year of 2024, I am once again proud to announce that the county's finances are in excellent condition. As always, I am honored for the privilege to serve as your chairman. I look forward to working with each commissioner as together we continue to make Lincoln County a better place. May God bless each of you, and may God bless Lincoln County. Thank you. For those of you that didn't get that and understand it, it'll be on the county's website in a day or two. You can go and look at it. Have any questions, ask Director Dawes. Now, we'll do the minutes. Item 5 is the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion that we approve the minutes that was sent to you?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion is carried. Item number 6 is the approval of the agenda. I would like to delete item 21, Elections Board appointment, from this month's agenda. With that taken off, is there a motion that we approve the agenda as printed?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion is carried. Item 7 is departmental reports. A is the Office of Emergency Services Director Casey Broom.
Chairman, Commissioners, as always, it is an honor to be here. And I'm proud that my reports have been submitted and answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions for Director Broom? Okay, if not, y'all have his printed report. I think we ran 125 ambulance calls last month.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Director Broom. 7B, Recreation Department is in your book. They're having activities at the gym tonight, and that's what Director Glaze is. If you have any questions, you talk to him. 7C is the Finance Department, Director Ernie Dawes.
Chairman, Commissioners, my report is in your book. You also received this week a copy of our audit. Our audit was completed and all the reporting was done for our annual audit. And Chairman, since you read all the bank accounts, I won't read them again.
Okay, any questions, Director Dawes? If not, we'll go to 7D, is the Public Works Department, Director Randy Fisher.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, it's good to be here this evening. You have my monthly reports there in front of you. I have nothing to add. Are there any questions?
You have the report of Director Fisher. Are there any questions you need to ask him? If not, thank you for that report.
Yes, sir.
Item 8 is our public hearing part of our planning and zoning. I have to have a motion that we go into the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Tankersley, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion to go into public hearing? There is none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. There being none, item 8A, Director Fisher, Stephanie, she'll have a new title before the end of the night, but you would pull that down, speak where I can hear you. Our first one is an applicant from Miss Susan L. Ogletree, map 53, parcel 80. That's 50 acres. It's lakefront agriculture. She is asking for final plat approval to develop Phase 2 of Long Cove subdivision located on Highway 220. Go ahead.
Chairman and Commissioners, the Planning Commission heard on Monday night the final plat approval for Long Cove for Susan Ogletree and the 8 lots. They are on the entrance as you go in on the left-hand side, and each lot is a little over 5 acres each, and the Planning Commission voted to recommend y'all approve their final plat.
Okay, we got the recommendation, but first, is there anyone here that would like to speak against this? Is there anyone here that would like to speak for it? I know Ms. Ogletree's here, but I don't think you got to say anything. Okay, you heard the recommendation from the planning board that we approve this. Is there a motion that we approve it?
I make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
No
Second?
motions during the public hearing.
Pardon me. Oh, that's, I'm sorry, got right here, look at that, voting open meeting. We'll come back to that. I look down, see my notes, I know what to do. 8A, 8B is an applicant request for Ms. Shane S. Stewart with LLC. This is she's applying for a special use request to operate a glamping retreat as well as some other things. Ms. Stewart called me yesterday morning and asked that this be postponed to the February meeting, which is what I recommend that we do, that we send this back to the Planning and Zoning Board. Their recommendation was for approval, I think, that we send this back to the Planning and Zoning Board to let them look at it again before it comes back to us, and it come back in February. And that's not unusual that we send it back to Planning and Zoning. she could have come and asked us to do it without prejudice, and it would have automatically gone back to the February meeting. But I do think that we need, as well as the planning and zoning board, to review this and look at it again. So this will come back unless something changes with Ms. Stewart at the February meeting. So I can ask, is there anybody here that wants to speak against it? But you're gonna come back, I'm sure, next week and want to speak to it. You want to speak? Okay, we'll let you speak. That's what we're here for. But you need to come to the microphone, state your name and address.
My name is April Zahn.
Ms. April, I know you want to do this tonight, and we were prepared for this to be put on screens, but after we knew we wasn't going to act on it tonight, there's not going to be a vote on it, I don't think.
And we
For
understand,
tonight.
we understand
So
there's not going to be a
if you
vote.
do it tonight, I don't guess you'll want to do it in February and tell us the same thing. So
We'll probably.
I'm just giving you the opportunity, you can do it this time,
From my understanding, the commission is going to most likely meet with the planning board. And so as you go into that meeting, I would like to voice our concerns, so everybody is aware as you go into that meeting. That is why we are requesting
okay,
this
if you would
meeting
pull that
tonight.
up just a little bit. I apologize, but I don't hear well.
Is that better?
That's a lot better. I can hear you now.
And so
Okay,
that-
go ahead.
That is why we would like to speak, so everybody has an understanding before you meet with the planning board, so you understand where we stand.
I think-
Good evening. Yes, sir.
You need to give your address, I think, too.
Yes, sir. 1379 Lakeshore Estates Drive.
Thank
Okay. Good evening. My name is April Zonner, and my husband Michael and I own the property directly adjacent to Phase 1 of the Glamp Inn. We are here tonight to express two of our primary concerns about the special exemption zoning for Phase 2 of the Glamp Inn. Per the Lincoln County Special Use Request application, under special use standards, light item number 2 states, "The location and character of the special use shall be compatible with the community development pattern and consistent with the needs of the neighborhood." We wholeheartedly believe that the Glamp Inn is not in character nor compatible or consistent with our residential neighborhood. We understand that we're not here tonight to discuss Phase 1, but we want to ensure that each of you can physically see how Phase 1 does not meet this standard. And I brought a few pictures, I had some more, but just so you can see. This is when we look out of our porch. This used to be all woods, it's peaceful, it's calm, and now we look directly onto igloos. And in this, you can see in these igloos in a handy house, they have very large opening windows, very large windows. They all directly open into our home. I could see beds, we could see people, we can see everything, right? So I want to make sure you guys can understand our concerns. She has fabric draped, it looks atrocious, being transparent, right? It doesn't look good. And I want you to physically be able to see, you can hear about it, but until you understand our concerns, it's hard to put it to perspective. As you can see, all of the igloos directly face our home, which we feel is an invasion of our privacy and not typical for any other housing development in Lincoln County. There is no buffer, and when you visit the Glamp Inn Facebook page that has more than 10,000 followers, her main page is 2 of her Glamp sites and our home. Our home is on direct display. And again, there's more than 30 more pictures on her Glamp Inn page that feature our home, our cars, our boats, all of our personal items, and that is not in fitting what you would expect in a neighborhood, right? When you consider those, right? And to our second point, the application line item 3 states, "The special use will not be injurious to use and enjoyment of the natural environment or of the property in the immediate vicinity or diminish or impair the value within the surrounding neighborhood." When we purchased our slice of Lincoln County heaven nearly 5 years ago, we were drawn by the peacefulness, solitude, and quiet living on Lakeshore Estates. And I think myself and all of our neighbors would have that statement. We all feel that. Our haven is no longer our haven. We rarely visit due to the frustration we feel from the moment we pull into our driveway. This development and the potential expansion is undoubtedly injurious to the use and enjoyment of our property. Our gravest concern is having this expansive development, which is projected to have more than 60 glamping and camping sites, which will garner an estimate of more than 250 people at capacity. Their only access to the lake is the property next door. And I'm going to show you guys, just so you can kind of get an idea. This is our one-lane, very small road. We're hilly, it's gravel, and the only access, this is my driveway, this is our driveway. This is the access that this huge development is going to have. I mean, we're talking less than 15 foot. This is the glamping. This is where they're going to have access, and it is less than 15 foot from our home. And that is no one would ever expect to experience that in a neighborhood. It is the only access point to the lake is funneled through a pedestrian and cart path that runs less than 15 foot from our home and directly through our residential neighborhood. We are very leery of the large customer base having direct access to our neighborhood. It will most likely lead to patrons accessing our roads by golf carts, bikes, and ATVs. And on any other RV development, that's what you do. You ride, you explore, but because it has direct access to our residential neighborhood, these people are now going to be up and down our streets on our ATVs, and if you've ever rode down Lake Shore, it is very hilly. If you go up a hill and down, you could hit each other, and it could be very cause for dangerous situations. It will most likely lead to the roads by golf carts, bikes, and ATVs. We are also concerned with the access of the projected core property with this lot. It is only 100 foot at the shoreline, right? It is a less than 0.97 acre property that this 53 acre development is funneling all of the customers. And it is in the middle of neighbors, right? They're funneling all of these people through a neighborhood. And that is just not it goes directly against what the application states. Each of these factors gives us reason to believe we have met the criteria to show that it is not in character, it's not compatible or consistent with a residential neighborhood. Allowing a commercial business to operate in our Peaceful Point neighborhood is not in character, it is not compatible or consistent with our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. April. Is there anyone else? Okay. I am going to ask the commissioners if they would to vote to send this back to the Planning and Zoning Board for them to act and look at the recommendations they would give us next week. And I know we do that once we go back into the regular session. Public hearings are treated a little different than the regular protocol of being on an agenda item. So, Ms. Acker, I think you have contact with her, don't you, that you could get if something were to change, but as far as I know, it'll be back in February, but if something does change, we will let you know. But you or Miss Nancy or somebody can get in touch with everybody. Okay. All right, 8C. It's an applicant variance request from Mr. Steve Padgett. Mr. Padgett, you here? Okay. Well, before you do that, Mr. Padgett, I usually do this, is applying for a side setback variance to be able to build a house. Now I'm going to give it.
Okay. Chairman, Commissioners, the Planning Commission heard from Mr. Padgett Monday night about his odd-shaped lot that he wants to build a house on, and in order to be able to do that, he asked for a side setback variance on two sides of the parcel. The Planning Commission heard Mr. Padgett, and their recommendation was to approve him the side setback.
Okay, is there anyone here to speak against this setback? Anyone here to speak against it? Anyone here to speak in favor of it other than Mr. Padgett? Mr. Padgett, if you want to talk, you can, but I don't think you need to. Okay, the recommendation is to approve the recommendation of the planning. We'll do that too. The next item is 8D applicant, Mr. Robert D. McMorris. Mr. McMorris, are you here? Yes. Okay. Glad to see you back there. Mr. McMorris is map 32, parcel 14, Hepzibah Church Road, 31.43 acres. He is applying for final plat approval to divide into 6 lots along with a waiver for water line connections from the Board of Commissioners. So that will be 2 separate items. Ms. Hockman.
Chairman, Commissioners, the Planning Commission.
You could get that microphone a little bit.
Chairman, Commissioners, the Planning Commission heard from the McMorrises on Monday night about the 6 lots on Hepzibah Church Road. They're all front on Hepzibah Church Road. They're a little over, I want to say they're 10 acres each. That's in front of me. They were all 5. And they were asking for a waiver on the water line since the closest water line is almost 2 miles away. They voted to recommend approval by the Board of Commissioners.
Okay, this is on Hepzibah Church Road, and this is subdividing property similar to what was done on Indian Road. There'd be 6 lots cut off the paved road part of Hepzibah Church Road. That's one of the things he's asking for with final plat approval. The other is the county says, the ordinance says, without the county commissioner's approval, you have to connect to a water line. Unfortunately, there's no water line on Hepzibah Church Road. It's a pretty good ways. The closest water line's on 220 coming down Ferguson Justice Road over there to it. So he's asking for a waiver. Now they'll build individual wells on each piece of property is what will have to happen. That's the 2 things that we will be looking at when we come out of our public hearing. Is there anybody here that's against it? Anybody here that want to speak for it? Do you want to speak or you want to? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Morris. We appreciate your interest in Lincoln County too. Okay, the final one is a variance request from Mr. Paul Gardner, Verizon Wireless. Is Mr. Gardner here? Yes. Okay, good. All right, he is asking for a special use request to construct a cell telephone tower on Ferguson Justice Road and Thompson Highway and Highway 220 West. Y'all know where that is. This is the first time this has been here, is it? Okay, go ahead.
Chairman, Commissioners, on Monday night, the Planning Commission also heard this for Verizon Wireless to construct a 230-foot self-support tower at Ferguson Justice, 220 and Thompson Highway. There was no opposition at the meeting, and the Planning Commission voted to approve the request, or recommend y'all approve the request.
Is there anyone here to speak against it? I don't guess you want to say anything if nobody's speaking against you, do they? Okay. What is that?
I said, he said it's good.
Okay, is there a motion that we go back into our regular commission meeting?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Collins. We go back, come out of our public hearing, go back into the regular meeting. Any discussion on the motion? There is none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposing, like sign. Motion is carried. The first request we had, Ms. Susan Ogletree, for a final plat approval at Long Cove. The recommendation from the Planning Commission to the Board of Commissioners is to approve. Is there a motion that will approve?
So move, Mr. Chairman.
The second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Tankersley, second by Commissioner Clyde, that we approve the recommendation of the Planning Commission. Any discussion? There is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Item B, and I missed it. That's Ms. Stewart, with the glamping that we just talked about and heard from. I am recommending to you, and Stephanie Eicher and I both, and Director Fisher, if we've talked about it, and we would like to ask and send it back to the planning commission and let them look at it, as well as us getting a little more information on what we got too. I'd like to entertain a motion that we refer this back to the planning commission for further study, be on the agenda in February.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
That's second.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Let's go to C. Mr. Steve Paget, the side setback variance. The Planning Commission has recommended this for approval. They have motion that we accept the recommendation of the Planning Commission.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
That's second.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion on the motion by Commissioner Tankley, second by Commissioner Clyde? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried.
They must feel pretty good about it. They left already, I think, haven't
They trusted us, didn't
they? Yes, sir.
they? Item D, is Mr. Robert McMorris. This is on these 6 lots cutting off of Helpful Church Road. I guess the first thing we need to do, though, before we do that, is to vote the waiver of the connection to the county water system. They have a motion that we give the waiver.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion to waiver?
Mr. Chairman, I just said one thing.
Commissioner Clyde.
I was concerned about the water line, but then after, Ms. Eicher told me why it was, economically feasible to even have separate wells in each, rather than try to spend the cost to connect to the water system, right?
That's
what
correct.
the biggest item, so I'm fine with that.
Any other comment? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. E is Mr. Phil Garner with Verizon Wireless.
We still got to vote on
We
the,
got one more part of that.
of the lots.
Thank you, we waived it. They have a motion, we accept recommendation of the planning commission.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second,
I second, Mr. Chairman.
motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion to accept the recommendation of Commissioner
I
Clyde?
just said, how large are these lots? I know they.
About approximately 5 acres.
5 acres, I missed it, I didn't see it on there, so, all right, thank you.
Any others? Not all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, appreciate all the assistance. Sometimes I need it. Mr. Gardner with Verizon Wireless, we all familiar with this. Thank goodness we're getting another cell tower, but I'm gonna say the same thing that I say every time we approve a cell tower, and it looks like we're doing pretty good with getting cell towers, and that's good. Mr. Gardner, relay to your people, or the AT&T Mobile, I know you're not gonna do that, but somebody needs to start looking at putting towers in the north end of Lincoln County. We have no cell towers up in that end of the county, and it's kind of rough, so I say it every time this happens, we need cell towers north end of Lincoln County, so I wish y'all would study and look at that. They have a motion that we accept the recommendation of the planning commission.
I make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I hate to be the only
Commissioner
one,
Clyde.
but, don't we have policies now that they have to do something within how long?
1 year, isn't it?
If they don't, they have to start all over and do,
That's correct. And that's what they're doing now.
that's our start over?
Yeah, this is start over
I
here.
got you. All right.
They've done this one
It's
before.
got to be started in 6 months and
Yeah, that's
completed
what I
in
was
1
thinking.
year.
Yeah, completed in about a year? Okay.
Gotta be
Thank you,
on.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate it.
All in favor of the motion, let me know, saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. That concludes our voting on agenda item number 8. We'll go to 9. Lincoln County Pause 24 Agreement. Ms. Fox here. Anybody here from LC Pause? If not, this is something we have been doing each and every year for the last few years. We contract with Lincoln County Paws to work with our stray animals across the county. To do this, you have to provide a service to the county, and you have to be a nonprofit organization, which they meet it all. This comes up every year. We pay Lincoln County Paws $8,000, $2,000 a quarter to help with the expense of the animals across the county. I see no reason why we don't want to do this again. I will ask for a motion to approve.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
A second.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item number 10 is the protocols of present value. Mr. Al Gray. Mr. Gray, you know it. State your name. Got 5 minutes. Do you need to buy us a hamburger a little later or something? If you would, get into that microphone. I can't hear for some reason.
I said, dear me.
If you get any good, I hear you.
Chairman Norman, and I need to give my address on it. I'm Al Gray, 2573 Salem Church Road. Chairman Norman, members of the commission, the protocols of present value may seem to be overruled by various cancel cultures that have been arisen in all sectors of human existence in the last few years. However, if these destructive forces seem insurmountable, they are not. Human errors can always be corrected by human action. These protocols will come back, roaring back out of necessity, unless the Lord comes first, returns first. Famous men once said, you can depend on Americans to do the right thing, but only after they have exhausted every other possibility. So what are the protocols of present value? At the highest levels, there are laws against theft at those high levels. Starting around 1998, the establishment, best represented by Democrat Bill Clinton and Georgia's beloved Republican, Johnny Isakson, led the charge to gut laws that had prevented mad financial fraud ever since the Great Depression. The accounting profession had its rules of conservatism, but threw those out, pressured by the politicians. Those are national level protocols. For the past 3 years, I've appeared before you using the basic protocols of present value locally. In October, I did a federal Information Act request on the Mass Corps of Engineers surveying project conducted by Madison Associates between 2018 and 2022. We've talked about it a number of times. I got an amusing response December 7th, consisting of a promise to try to send the information by December 29th. And that's Exhibit 1. But the first document, which is Exhibit 2, was a conflicting notice of rejections that they'd automatically prepared, citing excuses that really made me laugh, including things like lost emails by the management contractor and then the crash of one of their own manager's computer. Being in the firestorm over the loss of records by the government on Jeffrey Epstein, I just had to laugh. I was wondering if there were Lolita Islands in the middle of our lake with wallowing pedophiles instead of fish. I sent the full December response with all the blacked out information to Clerk McKellar and Chairman Norman yesterday and was ready to go, but I got the full response late afternoon in an email. The 4 pages shown in Exhibit 3 are the invoices paid to Madison Associates for the work, for which the budget had been set at $90,000 according to the February 2018 email and expedited out of a delay in 2022. That's Exhibit 4. Correctly prepared and recorded plats are a protocol of present value, something defining in land size and value coupled with law to the property, unchangeable without amendments. Exhibit 5.1 through 5.3 show considerations and tremendous complications in 3 of the Serenity Point plats. This subdivision is heavily traversed, crossed by mostly 100-foot core easements, roughly containing, but not always, the 60-foot rows of the subdivision. Surveyor Madison had previously handled this in 2007 by putting enough setback on every lot to eliminate conflicts for lot purchasers. That was evident on the core plats and the 2007 plat that's actually recorded in Lincoln County's Exhibit 6. Look how wildly those easement lines deviate from the physical road. That could have been a problem. I think that Madison handled it very well. That a correctly executed plat as present value came home to a Columbia County Homeland Security contractor 20 years ago. She was given a lot plat that was carved out of a properly recorded subdivision plat, but her lot plat was not. She had a job transfer to Hawaii at present time, but legal relief against the developer was politically impossible because of his power. Fortunately, somebody gave her a quit claim. Look at both recorded and core plats for the Roberts Way. That's Exhibit 5, 3, and 6. Do you see how the road and easement go all the way to coincide with the property line with another private landowner? Wouldn't he be precluded from tying into that subdivision road while a significant part of his land is inhibited by his own setback on the other side of the line in engineering considerations? I have several present value enhancements that I would recommend. One is to adopt conflict of interest definitions in the Code of Ethics for county officials. 2, inject provisions for easements and cross easements into development ordinances where the development proximity does not, so it doesn't affect the neighbor's land use. And 3, assure all plats are recorded on a timely basis. 4, stop the practice of changing ordinances without the required hearings and public notice. Present value protocols for people's assets should never be turned into million-dollar presents to the powerful, as some of us saw a decade ago in other counties. The people's earnings are instantly devalued for future retirement that will never come to them. Restore present value protocols from the bottom up. We can do that. Don't count on the federal and state. They will always fail, making all that was our future their present.
That it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
You mean I was that much on target?
Well, your 5 minutes is up. I was just going to be a little lenient, but we'll do. That's all interesting. Mr. Gray did send me and the clerk some emails that gets in depth with the surveys and the bills and other things. I think that has already been forwarded to the commissioners. You got it on your email account. You can read them. Let me make this one statement though, so everybody here and will be looking at it on YouTube. Mr. Madison that he's referring to is a member of the Lincoln County Board of Education. He's a board member. He is also a member, longtime member, before he was up on the Board of Education of the Lincoln County Planning and Zoning Board. The work that Mr. Madison did is for the United States Army Corps of Engineers, the United States government. He's not employed by Lincoln County to do these surveys. So it's not a conflict because he's not working for the county doing that. If he was doing it for the county, it might be something, but that's where that is. I just want everybody to understand that and I know Mr. Gray does too, the county is not employing Madison and Associates to survey the Corps of Engineer property. So we got them all, Mr. Gray, and we'll look out. Probably gonna have to call you to come explain it to me, but we'll look at it. Okay, thank you. Our next one is item number 11. As you know, the longtime director of our leisure services, which consists of the senior citizens and the transit and the leisure services department. I would like to recommend, I think I sent y'all an email a little bit a few weeks ago. I've interviewed with her. I brought her back, and the clerk and the finance director, we have sit with her. She is in here tonight. I got a call about an hour before we came in here wanting to know who it was going to be. I said, you can either come to the commission meeting or listen to it on YouTube tomorrow, and you can find out who it is. But I'd like to recommend Ms. Paul Mims' daughter, Delaney Mims Andrews. If you would, I want you to come around here. We might make a public speaker out of you. This is who I would like to recommend that we offer her the position as the director of the Leisure Services Department. Before we vote anything, I'm gonna ask if this is a little bit, usually do it after a motion and a second. Is there any questions that anybody would like to ask Ms. Andrews?
I got one.
Commissioner Clyde?
Are you gonna be as good a leader as your daddy was with,
I hope I will be better.
I believe it. That's good. We're glad to have you, Elaine.
Any questions to her? You have anything you want to say?
I'm excited.
You ready to go to work?
I am.
Okay, we'll see you Friday. Told you in the morning, but I can't be in the morning. I got something else that I forgot that I had, but I do want Monday morning.
About Tuesday.
You'll be closed.
Tuesday morning.
All right.
Tuesday morning. Okay, is there a motion that we appoint Mr. Delaney Mims Andrews as Director of Lincoln County Leisure Service?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
That's second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion? There is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. You can get with the clerk sometime and take care. Congratulations. Thank you, and we look for big things out of you, and I know we're working on more. We're running about 32, 35 people over there every day. And a lot of activities going on, so anybody 60 years old or older might want to go to the senior center. I don't know how good the food is. It's good every once in a while, because I go eat it when they cook it. But I'm 60 years old myself. Okay, congratulations. You work with Miss McKellar and get your stuff together. Thank you, and you're welcome to leave if you want to. I know you had something. Okay, item 12 is qualifying fees. Clerk McKellar.
Yes, sir. The law requires that we publish qualifying fees for the election year. 2024 qualifying fees for county chairman will be $1,678.57. For a county commissioner is $36. For clerk of Superior Court, $1,465.70. Probate court judge, $1,890.56. Sheriff, $1,678.57. Tax commissioner, $1,465.70. Coroner, $36. And county board of education member is $72.
Okay, by law, every county in Georgia has to do this as routine every other year. It runs in the paper, I think, 1 week or 2 weeks, and I'm satisfied to be on the county website. So anyway, is there a motion that we adopt the qualifying fees?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair has done. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. Item number 13, purchase of a new ambulance, Director Casey Broom. While he's coming up here, I want to tell you, we've had an ambulance ordered for a long time. The earliest they say that we can get one will be December of 24 of this year. That's a nationwide problem. You can't get an ambulance. Better talk to your federal representatives. They got to do something. And the story is that they holding them up all across the country trying to have just a very few to go because they want to come out with electric ambulance. Okay.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The chassis have been a problem for constructing ambulances on, and I'm not excited about the idea of trying to operate electric ambulances. I don't see a future in it. A lot of problems, but that's not why we're here. We have 4 ambulances. The county owns 4 ambulances, ranging from 2014 to 2021 in year model. And of course, we have very high mileage on the older ambulances. And in order to keep pace and make sure that we always have good functioning ambulances, I've suggested for many years that we replace one ambulance at least every 3 years. We did run into issues. We've been looking at this. We've talked to vendors. Trying to purchase an ambulance. I have to be very honest that I'm going to make a recommendation tonight that does not leave my mouth easily. It's kind of a bad taste, to be honest with you. I've been doing what I do for the county and the public for a long, long time, and I never thought that this is what I would have to ask for. But in order to continue to protect our citizens and have good functioning ambulances, it's time to replace at least one of them. We talked to several companies. The Custom Truck and Body Works quote that we talked about in the work session, it's a company out of Woodbury, Georgia. We've purchased from them in the past years. And they can deliver an ambulance to us by December of 2024. The other vendors were saying 2025. So I bring this purchase agreement to you for the authorization of the chairman to sign it. The purchase is for a standard 12-foot ambulance, delivering in December of 2024, and the cost is $217,933.
Is there a motion that we approve the purchase order for him to order an ambulance that we thought we were going to get last year and hope we're going to get in December 24, $217,933 is what the cost of that ambulance is, and that's with nothing in it. Stretchers run about $25,000 to $35,000 and all the equipment that go in it. So that's what it is. This is just issuing a purchase order for it, and we have it in our budget, in the general fund budget is probably where it would come from. That's
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Clyde?
I know you appreciate me.
Absolutely.
I would like to say that we had to wait a long time to get it, and then we don't have any to say so, whether we get a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Dodge, a Nissan, anything else, right? We pretty much.
Ford has not opened their order bank, and that's another challenge, is they only produce and sell a certain number of the Triple K certified chassis to be built on. So this will be a Dodge chassis. And then, moving forward, we should have a better idea of the choices. In fact, I believe the next one will be able to be a Ford. So,
Thanks, sir.
Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item 14, Director Dawson. We discussed this in the work session last week, the painting of the porches of the courthouse.
Yes, sir, Chairman, Commissioners, looking at painting the front porch and the side porches of the courthouse with a poly, I can't say it, Chairman, but with a chip system type of chip system type of paint we've got.
Epoxy is the word, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We sent out 5 requests for quotes. We received 3 back. One we took out because they only quoted on the front porch, and the other 2 quoted on both of them. The low quote is with Titan Concrete. It is $5,286. It's approximately $3,200 less than the next quote. I called them to find out why their quote was so much smaller, so much less, and it has to do with they're able to buy their product in bulk. The other company was using, both of them are going to fix any cracks that they see. They're both going to clean out the joints. When we talk about filling the joints, they're going to leave the joint, but they're not going to fill them. I think that's what we were having some discussion, so that the existing joint has a joint there, but if they try to put the product over it, as the concrete goes like this, it will cause it to crack.
So you recommend Titan Concrete for
I am
$5,286?
recommending Titan Concrete, $5,286.53.
Okay,
They would do the work on a Friday, and we could walk on a Monday.
We batted this around last week in the work session. I think we paid for it out of the general fund. We have money there that we'd get this done. So is there a motion that we accept the recommendation of Director Dawson with Titan Concrete? Have a motion by Commissioner Tyson. Is that second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Tyson, second by Commissioner Clyde. They getting tired. All in favor of any discussion? There is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known, saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Proceed.
Thank you, sir.
All right, item number 15, Direct Officials, 2024 LMIG.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, you have before you the letter that I sent in to GDOT for the egg mill application. However, they did want additional documentation on our 2022-2023 closeout. Director Doss has supplied me with the forms and the numbers that I need to go ahead and complete those closeouts, so I can get that done within the next week. And we can go ahead and resubmit the 2 closeouts and the cover letters, and they should give us our funds.
Okay, we're looking at doing Tabernacle Church Road, Lewis Family Road, Reed Road, Bethany Road, correct?
Yes,
That's approximately 11 miles, 11.1 miles, $799,200. And you want us to vote?
yes, sir. It comes out to about $72,000 a mile. Rock went up first of this year, $3.
Tell me what we voting for.
We just
We're-
voted to accept
We're
this
we're
tonight.
voting for the acceptance of the $799,200.
And the roads. So, and if we don't do that, then we don't have to do all that.
Yes.
If we do it, it's gonna be late, because we'll look at the T-Falls money, we don't have much matching right now, we gotta let it build up. That motion that we approve the request for the direct official with the
Mr.
letter
Chairman,
sent to DOT.
This does include the striping in that price.
Includes the striping.
Yes,
I
sir.
made the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion is second.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known, saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. The next item, 16, boy, this is a big one. Max Moore with a broom, direct official. But before you say anything, let me say something. If you look in your book, I think we added this in here, and I'm not sure that whether you got it, because we did it this afternoon. I think it's on you, no, we did it this morning. Since we met last Thursday and agreed that we wanted to purchase this piece of equipment for the road department, I have talked to Commissioner Tanker, you're real familiar with it, I know, but there's different implements that can go to it. John Graham, chairman over in Warren County, they purchased one Tuesday. And he added several features to it, different things they could change. But one of them, and if you go on the website and look at it, that's all I've looked at. I've seen the one in person, with the big one with the arm on it. Due to the fact, this is a machine that will probably run every day if we can get somebody that can run it. I would like for us to add a ditch maintainer. You can take the bush hog looking apparatus off and put it on here and it can reach over. We got some ditches that need to be worked on. This is a cost of, this is additional cost of $16,991 that we would use to put this on. I don't guess I didn't take anything from you, but I think we had looked at, what's the cost, $238,000 or something?
Yes, sir, $238,000. That's the Max Moore boom with a rotary head. The lead time on the machine right now is 90 days, which puts us around March getting the machine. But Mr. Coulter said he was being generous or being a little further out with the lead time. he suspects we'll get it much sooner, but he didn't want to tell us we would and then it not be here. But it does also include delivery. We don't pay a delivery fee, that's included in the quote. And when the machine gets here, he'll come out and whoever we gonna have to run this machine, he's gonna teach them the safety features on the machine and teach them how to run it.
Okay, if, what we talked about the other day was, he said it was $238,226.25. If you take the addition of what we're requesting for the ditch maintainer, the $1691, we are asking for approval of $255,217.25. We've agreed that we would pay this with the SPOSH 6 sales tax money. That would close that account out, I think, would it, because we're already a year into SPOSH 7. The balance of that would be paid for with ARP money. So what we have, according to Director Doss, we would be approving to purchase this, and we would pay $152,312 for SPOSH 6, and American Rescue Plan of $102,905.25, which would get you to the $255 if that's what you vote to do. If you don't, then we just back the $16,991 out.
Questions?
Hold on a second. Let's do this. There's a motion that we purchase this equipment.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Collins. Now we into discussion. Commissioner Tanker.
Will you restate what you said about the shipping, delivery?
Yes, sir. So the shipping and handling, will be not what that figure includes there.
On number 6 down there, they
Yes.
got shipping and handling $2,000.
Yes, sir. That's approximately what it costs to get it to us, $2,000.
You mean we spent $250,000 on a piece of equipment, they're gonna charge us to bring it to us?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
You need to do a little bit more negotiating.
Well, you prove it, and you know the man, you talk to him and see if you can get it down, and we can always pay less.
That might be I'm gonna use it as, if you want us to buy the machine, you're gonna have to bring it to us and not charge.
Handle it.
All right? But
And if he does, then we spend the $2,000 less. If he don't, we got it approved unless y'all say you ain't gonna bring it. Any other discussion?
I would like to add, Mr. Chairman, this machine is a diverse machine. It has multiple attachments that goes to it. The reason why I didn't attach it to the agenda, I wanted to get the machine first. I know we're spending a lot of money on it. I wanted to get the machine with the rotary motor boom axe, and then on down the road, in our next work session, maybe I'll bring the attachments. They are fairly expensive, but they're also, I think we can utilize them. It does come with hydraulic lift arms and couplers on the front, so you can attach brooms, blades, pretty much anything that you could utilize on the road on the machine.
Okay. All in for the vote. Commissioner Henderson.
Question, this is replacing a piece of equipment that we already have that's,
Basically, I know you wasn't at the work session the other day, so you're not familiar with it. As familiar with it, we bounced it around 6 months. We have now a tractor with what we call a boom axle on it, a bush hog on the arm. It's no longer in service, it won't work, and we are needing to replace it. Once we started replacing a tractor and a boom, it was over 200,000. After we looked at this, and I think most of y'all have seen this in Savannah, I know Commissioner Tankersley has. For the difference, we getting a piece of equipment that is fairly new to the industry. It's new to me. I know Oglethorpe, I told y'all that I went to Oglethorpe and watched it run. Wilkes is batting around, they are wanting one. Warren's got one. Columbia County, I saw one sitting down on the side of the road a few weeks ago. It's the same thing. If you look at it, ATMAX Equipment Company, you can Google it and see see it working and everything. But yes, it's replacing a tractor with a boom axle on it with a lot better piece of equipment that you can use to do a lot more. In fact, you can put a blade on it. You put a bush hog in front, you put a blade on the front, use it as a motor grader, which might be what we have to end up doing. But these are extra costs to it, but as it stands today, we have nothing that we can reach down guardrails and down banks or to trim limbs that's coming across our roads or anything. So we're gonna buy the tractor part that has one feature. They tell you wear your clutch out a lot on that tractor. This is made for this. It turns around, runs either way. And without that implement, it was about $30,000, $38,000 more than the tractor with the boom, and you're getting something that's made for this. So that's what we're doing. Commissioner Thompson.
What head did we decide to go with? We got a mulching grinding head, or we got a chopper head?
So we just have a rotary deck with the blades. The mulching head was fairly expensive, so.
I don't think we want that no way, what we got for it to do.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions, Commissioner Henderson?
The contract that we have for more right-of-ways, is this gonna fit in with that, do additional work, that sort of thing? Or-
This is different from what they do.
Okay, all right.
Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. Director, item 17 is the repairs to Double Branches Water Plant, Director Fisher.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a quote from H&H Industrial Maintenance, one of the few people that can subcontract pipe fitters. So the problem we have at the water plant is we have two pipes. One runs through the tank, one comes out of the tank into the building. When they put those pipes in, they use couplers. They pretty much stack couplers because the pipes were offset. Because of that, the recent repair we made to it, the couplers have started to leak on one side. Right now, we don't have any pressure on them, and we're really afraid to put pressure on them because we don't know if they're going to leak or blow out. So this quote is for a pipe fitting company to come in and remove the couplers and put in a solid piece. It's going to require some welding and some fabricating, but they are professional pipe fitters. And H&H has said that they would make sure that the work was quality work.
Okay, we talked about this last week too. We're going, this is H&H Maintenance, $18,750, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
That'll take care of this part. We know we got something else coming too.
Yes, sir.
Down the road, it's gonna be more expensive than this, but this is the first phase to get them started. We said that at the work session, we would pay for it with ARP, American Rescue Plan money. And we'll need an motion that we go ahead and contract with H&H Industrial Maintenance. Price is $18,750. Their motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion, is there a second?
I second
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion?
I got
Commissioner
one quick
Clyde.
question. This weather and all that won't interrupt any water supply, anything to be able to do this and?
Yeah.
It already has.
Yes, sir. Right now, we're shut.
The water plant down there has not run in several weeks. We're not pumping any water out of our 9 tanks on Double Branch Road. We're buying it all. Which about 30 or 40% comes from these wells, so we need to get them back to running. But with the problem that we got, we can't pump the water and run the system.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. And I want to tell you, Director Fisher and Michael Newman, our water superintendent, are doing a good job trying to keep this stuff going. You know, that stuff in there was done in 1995, I believe. That's 30-something years old. So we got some problems with some other things we got to fix. Here comes one that I see in the paper that several people have done, including the city. Well, maybe not the city raised their rates. Direct fishing.
Yes, sir. So for the,
Water tap fees.
yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the Lincoln County water tap fees, effective January 1, 2024, I did a cost estimate on our tap fees, what we charge right now, which is below the state average. Some counties that don't provide county water will do small taps for as little as $500. In Dawsonville, for a 3/4 inch tap, it can cost as much as $4,000. So the numbers that I have come up with here, I spent quite a lot of time looking around at other counties, figuring the cost and working with Mike Newman, the water superintendent, trying to come up with some feasible numbers to where we would actually come out on the plus side, because right now, at the cost that we're installing meters, we're basically doing it for low cost. So we're actually losing revenue. So these are the numbers that I came up with. If you look on page 2, there's a fee breakdown by tap size. And
Director Fisher, if we look, let's move it on, but I know what we done, we discussed every
Yes.
bit of this last Thursday, so we're familiar really with what you're talking.
okay, yes, sir.
Let's move it on and get to the voting on it.
Oh, okay, all right.
So you want me to?
Yes, sir. If the commissioner would like to.
Okay, what Director Fisher is doing, and we discussed it at length last week, to bring it to the floor tonight to vote on it, and correct me there, because you're doing this, is 3/4 inches, about 90% of our tap fees, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
At least 90%,
At least.
maybe more. That's the standard residential fee, and we're asking that 3/4 inch tap fee go to $2,388,
Yes, sir.
and a 1 inch, $27.38.
Yes, sir.
A 1.5 inch, $3,776,
Yes, sir.
and a 2 inch of $4,804.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And anything over that, we don't do anyway. We do up to a 2 inch.
Yes, sir, we have 2-inch lines, but anything outside of that would be something that would have to be done by a subcontractor.
Okay. So this is what we talked about last week, and we need a motion that we adopt the recommendation of him. I think Columbia County's is what, 2480 or 28?
2750.
2750. So, I know that Columbia County's is $2,750. This is going from $1,200. But we're losing money every time we tap somebody to the system. It's costing us too much money to do it. And we got to go up, and this is the first time I think we've had an increase in this, maybe since it started.
Yes.
But anyway, we've talked about it. We know we got to do it, and we don't want to, but we got to. Is our motion that we adopt the tap fee effective tomorrow morning, I guess. Is that right? Anybody got any request in now? If they come tomorrow, it'll be a different deal.
Yes, sir. Not that I'm aware of, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, she's saying they don't think we got one in. So somebody will be surprised when you get there, I guess. That motion,
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'm glad you're making these motions, because we nobody else make them. Is there a second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Collins, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? There is none. All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Thank you on that, Director.
Yes, sir.
The next one is, that's it for you. God bless you, you did good. Okay, we coming down now to where, I imagine Ms. Iker wished I'd have put this earlier on. If you look at your page, what I'm recommending. And we discussed this too, you know, we have a work session on Thursday before this meeting that lasts twice as long as this meeting. We're asking to go back to the way it was prior to 2009. And that is to change the public works and take some of the divisions of public works and go back and go to the planning and zoning, which we will be called it now, because it's not just planning and zoning. But the Department of Community Development, the Department of Community Development's divisions would be planning and zoning, code enforcement, building permits and inspections, soil and erosion, utilities, which is water, wastewater, the administration and the billing and customer relations would go under the community development. Solid waste administration and customer relations would go under the Department of Community Development. The Department of Public Works would be the divisions of roads and bridges, building and grounds, which consumes probably 40% of all your, it's right there with the roads and bridges. The county shop, engineering, utilities, water and wastewater, the construction and maintenance of the water system would come under Public Works. And under solid waste, the transfer station, the maintenance and everything that goes out there with the landfills. The old landfill that we had to monitor for 30 years, we're in our 28th year. We got problems out there with EPD. We got some wells that have gone dry. I asked them to see if EPD will work with us since we ain't got to do this anymore in 2 years anyway. Probably won't, but we asked. So that's what I'm asking the Department of Community Development would be and the Public Works would be. Of course, they share the same offices over there and we share some of the same clerical help. If you would do this and create the Department of Community Development, and I'm asking that we appoint Stephanie Eicher, who is now our planner, that she would become a county director and she would be the director of the Department of Community Development. So my request is that we split these two, split the Public Works back into two, and that we appoint Ms. Eicher to be the Director of Community Development. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Thanksin, second by Commissioner Clyde. Discussion. Has no discussion. Commissioner Henderson.
Gentlemen, I wasn't at the planning session, but are we doing this within the same budget that we?
Yes.
We're not changing any budget?
That's right. That's correct, isn't it? I don't think it's, yeah, what happened is she's already had one. Director Seymour salary was reduced considerably when we started, and it's gonna all fit in with pretty much the same
I'm sorry, yes.
salary. It's not costing us any more money in salary.
It's budget neutral. Budget neutral, Chairman.
Budget neutral. All in favor of the motion, let it be known, saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, the motion is carried. Director Eicher, would you like to make a speech? Maybe next month, this one lasted too long. Okay, we got that. Item 20 is the CSRA Alliance for Fort Gordon. This is something, as you know, we do every year. We partner with the Lincoln County Development Authority. We are members on the I think on the Georgia side of Fort Gordon, we lucky several years ago, they invited us, Lincoln County, to be a part of it. Columbia, Richmond, McDuffie, Burke, and Lincoln are the partners on the Georgia side, and I think is Edgefield and Aiken County on the South Carolina side. Of course, you know Curly Abant represents us along with, I think, the Executive Director of the Development Authority, Christine McNeese. And they represent us at the, everything goes on out at Fort Eisenhower. I'm sorry. It's changing. Our dues is $2,500. It's budgeted in our general fund budget. We do every year. It's our motion that we continue this and pay the Alliance for Fort Eisenhower $2,500.
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion by Commissioner Clyde, second.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Henderson. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, with the board's approval, I would like to pay this out of the hotel motel and not out of the general fund. It is a budgeted item, but I would like to move it for this year.
You told me that.
Need another motion for that, or?
I don't think so. Let the motion, I think we can let the motion reflect that we'll pay this out of the hotel motel tax and not the,
Yes,
not the, general fund. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, let it be known, saying aye.
Aye.
We have taken the item 21 off the agenda. The item 22 is probably the one most of you are looking for. Is there a motion that we adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Boy, that didn't take long at all, did it?
Second, too.
Is there a second?
Yes, sir.
Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Tankersley. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known, saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. We stand adjourned.